That's a wrap on round 5 of Monster Energy AMA Supercross and the SuperMotocross World Championship. Crowd was fired up in Detroit, Michigan. Welcome to the SMX Insider post-race show. Jason Wygant joined by the 15-time motocross and supercross champion Ricky Carmichael. Kickoff of 250 East and a 450 class that has been epic through the first couple rounds of the season. So many riders came in here with so much hope and the thought that, ooh, tonight could be my night.
Yeah, and I just think about a notable from the main event, and I just think it's Eli Tomac. I want to give the man the benefit of the doubt, and like maybe there was something, an ongoing issue with the bike or himself that we weren't aware of, because he went a lap down, and for a two-time Supercross champion, as well as he raced last week at Anaheim, that was the biggest takeaway for me. Everything else, not surprising that Jet won. Sexton, how well he rode. Cooper Webb rode phenomenally as well. Like, there's really, Eli was the biggest thing to me that I could not believe. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and as you said, he came in here with some momentum and the hope that maybe he could get a main event win. Let's show you the highlights here from round 5 in Detroit. Ford Field was packed. So much excitement early in the season, and Aaron Plessinger coming in leading the championship after throwing this race win away last year. So he was looking forward to redemption, and the fans, they wanted to see him do well as well. So here's our main event. It is Jet Lawrence, who has struggled big time off the starts the last couple weeks. Great this time in the lead, and there's Tomac with a good start, and Chase Sexton.
Well, and I talked to Tomac during the week, and he's like, man, yeah, it was a great run last week at Anaheim, but this week, if I could just get a good start, give myself a legit shot, he was in a perfect opportunity. But then, check this out. This is midway through the race. Malcolm Stewart looked like he was going to go to the left and try to get by Jason Anderson, and gets off kilter, off balance, goes to the left, he goes down. It's going to end his night for the most part.
Now here's the problem. Tomac at third gets caught by Ken Roczen. Roczen makes the pass for the position around the outside. Instead of going with Sexton and Lawrence, he started drifting back.
I think that Ken Roczen's results on paper isn't a reflection of how well he's doing, but that was a nice save by the 21 of Jason Anderson, almost going down. It was weird. I expected a little more from Anderson. He looked like he was riding comfortable on the bike. Not sure if there's an underlying issue, again, like we didn't know about, kind of similar to Eli, but it was nice to see this guy.
Oh, the race later. Oh, Jet Lawrence almost went down there.
Right? That was a tremendous save by this guy.
Said he had 2 of those, but he held on. And for the first time this year, someone can say, I've won 2 races. Jet Lawrence put it back on the tracks after winning the opener off the podium, the second, third, and fourth round. But Chase Sexton's second place finish by a slim margin will allow him to retake this series points lead. And here's some respect from Sexton and Lawrence, and vice versa.
Yeah, I think these guys, they have respect. They have a mutual respect for each other. You just think that. So great to see the camaraderie, sportsmanship like you're talking about, Jason. And these guys are competitors. They want to win, but I think they both respect each other's talents.
And there is Roczen finishing on the podium for the second time this year. KTM brings with these results. Cooper Webb, what could have been, he was so fast during the day. Fast in his heat race, then he fell. Bad start in the main, came all the way back to 4th. Anderson, as you said, we thought might run up front, ends up 5th. Winning that big battle with Plessinger.
Justin Cooper put in a good ride as well. I think he's another one of those riders. When you talk about what do their scores look like on paper, I feel like he is better than what his paper scores look like.
You saw Tomac ends up 10th ahead of Marcia, who will be the second page here ahead of Craig. And now look at these standings.
Wow.
It is a 1-point gap between Sexton and Lawrence, and only 1 point further back for Plessinger. Webb is only 6 points back in 4th. This is fantastic.
Well, it is, but then I look at the 5th place points right there, Jason Anderson, and it's crazy to think like the points from -6 out of the lead in 4th to 14, 8-point differential there. So that's big. That's more than what I anticipated that it would be, but still an incredible points battle.
These are the 250 class highlights from round 5, Monster Energy AMA Supercross from Detroit. Opening ceremonies, the crowd was extra fired up because 250 East and Hayden Deegan have arrived for the first time in 2024. And he came out in the Jared Goff Detroit Lions jersey. This of that. But wild off the start. Watch Deegan and about 6 other riders in a massive first turn crash.
Yeah, it looked like something happened with McAdoo at the beginning, but that's not what caused this. I believe Hammaker tangles with Vial, and then it's just a chain reaction from that point. You can see Evan Ferry, I mean, he gets absolutely clobbered. Hated to see that. Deegan having massive bike issues. His handlebars are bent down. He's looking down. You can't ride safe or anything at that point. Hamaker's going to pull into the paddock there. That's his mechanic trying to get things tuned up. But at this point, he's not going to gain any points. Same with Vial. His bike's all banged up. And you hate to see it at this part of the series. The opening round of the 250 East Coast, they're at a 15 to 20 point deficit. Going to be hard to pull yourself out of that hole.
But incredibly, a rider who has been caught in far too many of those incidents this time was the one that didn't get caught. That was Austin Forkner in the lead. A good battle between Chance Hymas and the 37 of Max Anstie for second.
Hymas hung strong for a lot of that race. I mean, Anstie was dogging him for so long, and the veteran was able to get around Hymas. Hymas rode great. He would eventually fall down, but this guy, he's the man of the night in the 250 class. Well done.
He was overdue to have the luck shine on him. Austin Forkner, who missed all of Supercross last year after crashing off the start in the opener, wins. He's actually third all-time now, tied with none other than Jeremy McGrath and Jet Lawrence on the all-time 250 win list, but he still doesn't have a title. Maybe this is the way to kick it off. And Daxton Bennett, in his first professional Supercross race, finishes third. Cody Schock on the Buckoff FXR Club MX Yamaha, a privateer team, fourth. Pierce Brown fifth. Swole debuts for Triumph, down in that first turn crash, came back to sixth.
Yeah, incredible. He fought, and yeah, like you said, down in that first corner, not ideal.
Look at these names. Yeah. Deegan, McAdoo, title contenders in 15th, 16th, Vial, 18th, and Hamaker last. And Ferry took a hard hit, as you saw, getting pushed up against that wall. So when you look at the points, what's notable is not just Forkner, Anstie, and Bennett on top, but who's not in the top 10.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's sad to see. So now these guys are going to have a lot of work ahead of them, and they're going to be in a must situation here in 2 weeks. So I hate to see it, but that's part of racing, and that's what happens on those 90-degree starts like that. If you don't get a good jump and you're on the outside, everyone just funnels to the outside, and man, you're a victim of circumstance at that point.
Well, as I said, a victim of circumstance too often is Austin Forkner. What could this do for him?
Well, it could be huge for him. He's been very outspoken today, not only after the heat race, but also after the main event on the podium. He's made a lot of changes, not only off the track, but on track. He's working with Ryan Hughes now, which I think is great. Ryan has a lot of experience. He's done it for a long time, and he's worked with a lot of great people and great race teams as well. So I think he needed a change. Myself personally, that's my opinion. Everyone else might not agree with that, but he rode well. Is that surprising to me? Of course it's not. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that guy is plenty capable.
He had won 12 races already, 13th.
Yeah.
Any race is a possibility for him.
I think the biggest thing for me and Austin Forkner is like, okay, can you do this the whole series? And that's where I know he's capable of that every single weekend. For me, I just want to see him make it through the whole series and lock this thing up. That's what my hopes are for him, and that he's able to finally seal the deal.
All right, let's get more on our 250 class. Send it down to Will Christian.
Thank you, Jason. And we are absolutely spoilt for storylines, aren't we, in the 250 and the 450 class across the board. But every now and then we get a story that's really special, that stands out. Aaron Plessing, of course, being one of those. And tonight, Austin Forkner as well. It's less than a year ago that we saw Austin take that terrible crash and not even make it into turn one there at Anaheim 1 when he was riding the West Coast. And up on the podium when JT was interviewing him, it's hard to describe the energy that he had. You could see the sense of relief just come off him, and it meant so much to him to say, I'm back here, I'm back doing it. He just kept talking about the last time he was up there, and it must have been 2019, and you could just see it was, they want it, their races, they want it, but it was needed, and there was a big difference. Austin Forkner needed that, and now I'm thinking moving forward here, he's got 8 rounds remaining. He's desperately going to want to hang on to that and repeat that performance, and perhaps turn the career around, not just the last couple of years, and get himself another championship. So I'm thinking, can he settle? I'm going to be looking, can he settle down and get this to become a rhythm? Is he going to be able to make a pattern out of this? So I'll be watching that as we move forward. They're obviously going into a little bit of a break here, but when they are back on track there, in a few weeks' time, we'll see exactly how he can back that up.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Show you the manufacturer points when we combine both the 450 and 250 championships together. Yamaha leading, Honda and Kawasaki, with the help of Forkner's win, is up to third. Now, Will mentioned you know, the consistency. Can he stay away from the drama and the trouble we saw in our 450 class? You never know in this game. On the outside, you see Jet Lawrence leading every lap, winning the second race of the year. It wasn't quite that simple. Check this out. Well, first of all, tough break for Jeremy Martin, by the way, in our heat race. I want to give a shout out to him. Hope he's okay. Was not able to compete tonight. And that's a tough break for J-Mart. And that's always the risk, obviously, in Supercross, especially for Jeremy, who's coming back from injury. And that was late in the heat. He almost had it into the main.
Yeah, and it's such a shame because him coming back from injury, you're like, okay. And I just feel like if he could have gotten this race under his belt and then a couple more and a couple more, he would have been in a good spot. So hopefully that he will be okay. He will recover just fine. And hopefully we see him back on the track soon.
Yeah, Mike Bonacci from Martin's team said he's banged up, but otherwise okay. That's what we like to hear about Jeremy. Nothing super serious there. Now we'll show you the pitfalls in the 450 class. Here's our race, the race leader, Jet Lawrence.
That was an incredible save. That could have been that could have went horribly wrong, but that shows you the strength that these riders have and how they're able to save these mishaps.
Well, a lot of that is bred by the racetrack. For more on that, let's send it to Jason Thomas.
So I'm standing on the landing of the tabletop where Jet Lawrence almost ended his night in that main event, and you can see the carnage, the track deterioration that's gone on throughout this main event and what they had to land on, and not only land on, but they had to actually step off over another jump there as well. Now I'm going to walk towards you, and I'm going to show you exactly why Jet Lawrence almost ended his night, because as bad as that is, that's not really the reason why he almost crashed. This is right here. And you see this rock? And you see the rock right behind it? Those threw off his trajectory. He wasn't expecting to hit a rock in this rut, and it almost ended his night, and it could have ended his championship.
It always blows my mind when I see that. Okay, you've been in that situation. Is that literally you see it and you try to adjust, or you just hit it and then you have to adjust after the mistake?
I mean, you think you see it right there, that split second, and it's almost too late. You try to adjust your whether the throttle, clutch, you manipulate the motorcycle that way, or your riding position on the motorcycle. It's clear. It's 100% situational.
Yeah.
So it just, regardless, it's not a situation you want to be in.
No. That almost ended his night after leading the race. But he's on top. We're going to Glendale, Arizona next time for round 6. That will be very, very interesting because with Jet getting back on top, I've got to figure the rest of these 450 riders are saying we cannot let the rookie start building momentum or even a win streak.
Well, I love going to Glendale for a couple reasons. That is a massive floor. Normally that track is almost over, is supersized, if you will. And the speeds are normally fast. It gets a bit harder, more slippery. So that's going to cater to some other guys' bikes and how they ride. But I look for the reaction. I look for the reaction from a guy like Eli Tomac. What's he going to be able to do? Can Jet keep on going? Maybe Ken Roxon gets a win. Who knows? And Cooper Webb, he's been doing fantastic. Yep, it's just a reaction. Like, that's what I love, and that's what I look forward to the most.
And our 250 West division is actually coming back. East will have 2 weekends off. Glendale is a West race. Then we have an off weekend for the championship altogether. West has actually had 4 winners in 4 rounds. Maybe we get a 5th.
Of course. It's going to be exciting. I do think R.J. Hampshire, he likes racing there. Love what I've seen from the chef, Levi Kitchen, as well. Just everyone in the West Coast. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Most of them are healthy, which is great, knock on wood, and excited to see those guys go do battle. And some of these guys that got banged up here on the 250 East Coast, their opening round, they'll have a 2 weeks break.
Yes, they're very happy the way the schedule worked out for them. Let's give you the how to watch our next race in Glendale, Arizona. Starts with Race Day Live at 3 p.m. Eastern on Peacock, and then SMX Round 6 from Glendale, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a Peacock show. You can always watch the re-air at 1 a.m. on CNBC, and if you're outside the United States, we'll give it to you on the SuperMotocross Video Pass, or just go to supermotocross.com for everything you need to learn. An incredible day of racing here at Detroit. So much hope for so many riders. In some ways, Jet Lawrence extinguished that in the 450 division. And in the 250 East class, drama off the start led to a dramatic win for Austin Forkner that was much needed for him and his Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki team. And in that 450 class, well, Jet Lawrence simply pulled away, avoided the big crash, and took the win. Chase Sexton leads this series. We keep rolling on. See you next week, Glendale.